So we're heading down through the Alexandra Gardens in St Kilda Road, and I believe they will lead us to the Botanical Gardens. So it's all along the banks of the Yarra River, as you can see. So let's see where it takes us.
Yes. Because the other thing, yeah, because the other thing that I know is happening is
The contrast between the blue sky and the green is quite something. We lived in Melbourne for, I think it was about 3 years, just prior to COVID hitting. And the Botanical Gardens were one of our favorite spots. When we first arrived in Australia, it was also winter, I'm sure it was July, and we were sitting huddled, the three of us were sitting huddled on a bench in the Botanical Gardens eating a sandwich. And of course there's always birds, and I threw a piece of my sandwich down for some of the birds, and of course then they just all flocked to you. And the next thing, someone came bursting out of the bushes, a woman in khaki. She just appeared like a rocket from the bushes and reprimanded me. She was obviously a Botanical Gardens worker, and she gave me a scolding, told me not to feed the birds. So I went off with my tail between my legs. But I suppose it is a problem, because once you start feeding them, they will hang around people, and a lot of restaurants have problems because the birds sit on the tables. And I mean, we've been in places at Sydney Harbour where the little lorikeets come down and they pull the sachets of sugar out of the sugar bowls and tear them open while they're sitting on the table in front of you, and they pull the sachets of sugar open, tear them open, and eat all the sugar. And they will keep doing that. This one's got such a lovely worm, and they will go through quite a few sugar sachets, and of course it's not really very good for them. Oh, we've just eaten a huge worm. These are beautifully manicured gardens. And there you can see the skyline. There's another little piece of art. I'm not sure. I'm going to try and zoom in, but he's right across the road. Let's see if we can zoom in on him. I'm not sure if it's a cat or a dog behind the red car. Not sure how far we'll zoom in. Okay, well, looks like it's working. So he looks like some kind of an animal. We're walking through the Queen Victoria Gardens. There's a lot of artwork in amongst the ponds, and down at the duck pond there's a water nymph, a bronze water nymph. So I believe the Queen Victoria Gardens will lead us up to the Botanical Gardens. So we'll just keep walking and hopefully find our way there. So I'm going to try and get closer to this waterfall because there are steps that they, I think, could be pretty slippery because it's quite wet. Maybe sitting here reading a book is perfect. Look at how beautiful this is. Oh my goodness. We're heading up the hill now towards the one entrance of the Botanical Gardens. Down on that side you can see, I think that might be the Army, as in AAMI Stadium, Army Stadium, and then next to it is the Marvel Stadium. Looks like there's some menacing clouds. Hopefully we don't get caught in some rain. It's a beautiful entrance to the Botanical Gardens. These bronze trees. So I see the gardens are going to close early today at 3 o'clock as the lightscape event is on. So we'll have to move through here quickly. Some more people having a picnic. With the dark skies as a backdrop. Beautiful. These are the same little plants that we have in our garden. So I find when I walk in parks and green spaces that the trees just exude such an incredible energy. It's almost like the air and the light is softer. There'll be a lot of possums living here in the trees. I think at night the whole place will come alive. Possums and owls. Lots of little spots to sit. So we're mid-July now, and it's chilly. I think it's probably 9 degrees. And you can probably hear there's a bit of a wind. Look at the colours, the orange. There's the Australian flag in the background. And just look at these leaves. Oh, that would be such a party for a Labrador. There's a beautiful tree in the distance. Must be pretty old. Another little pavilion. It's so much space, so many places one can come and sit. Very peaceful. In front of us is a grevillea. It's one of the indigenous plants in Australia. And this particular tree was planted in 1927 by the Duke of York. So it's almost 100 years old. This tree that we spotted through the other trees, it's enormous, is a monkey cypress, and it's regarded as one of the most important trees in Victoria. They call it a significant tree, and it looks like it's had some help holding it all together. I can't get to the top, but that should give you an idea. There's some aerial warfare going on with the Maggies at its base. They're obviously not happy with some visitors. They were bombing some birds a few minutes ago. There's a lovely pond, or a little bit of a lake through the trees. This is all part of the lightscape. So at night they'll obviously light up all of these trees. It'll be beautiful. It's Saturday afternoon in the Botanical Gardens, and it's a lovely time for families to come out for a walk, have picnics. The light is very soft, very gentle. We're going to walk down towards the little tea rooms because it's probably like getting close to, it's 2:45, and we're still looking for lunch. So I think we'll just keep walking and see what we can find. plants are having a whale of a time with the leaves. That would have been my best thing to do. The only thing that's missing is a dog. But there's nothing like playing in your winter leaves. So we're probably going to have to come back as we've just been asked to leave. As they will close the gates at 3. So it's almost 3 o'clock and we need to exit Botanical Gardens. So So we've only seen a very small portion of it, but it is such a beautiful area. And so we'll say goodbye with a view of this beautiful lake. And if we have time in the next day, we'll come back. But at least we got to see a small bit of the Melbourne Royal Botanical Gardens as the light comes through on our left. It's a beautiful afternoon. It's going to be a beautiful evening for the lightscape show. We'll catch you back in town.